Hello everybody, thanks for joining us again. Wendy Clifford from Cloud 2020 and my esteemed colleague and boss, Ian Bourne. We're going to talk about NCE today, Ian.
Whoa.
So, yeah, we're not going to talk very long about NCE actually. We're going to talk, it's going to be a very short, this is what we know, watch this space kind of thing about NCE. It's upset the channel a little bit, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. And I think there's certainly talking to partners that there seems to be the two camps, those that have looked into it and those who are giving it a jolly stiff ignoring. And I think, I don't think the latter is a good place to be really. But I think it's, the problem was the messaging was very complex and confusing initially, and it's taken a long while to settle down. I think also behind the scenes there were a lot of things that didn't quite work at the time it needed to, so therefore that caused uncertainty and nervousness in the market. But perhaps if we can try and capture what new commerce experience means to people, I think it's two things. One is price rises, fine, okay, get that. Actually, fact, for us, it's not an issue, because in actual fact, Dynamics isn't, or the PowerApps are not going up. In fact, the PowerApps recently have gone down, which is great. But it's certainly for our colleagues who transact a lot of M365 licensing, it's a big issue because it's gone up substantially. I think the real crippler, and this is particularly, well, there are two issues that are particularly pertinent, again, more to those customers than perhaps to us, is the fact that one of the big attractions of buying a subscription from Microsoft SaaS products was it was effectively monthly. Okay, you had a year's agreement you signed up to, but at any stage you could wind that license count down to 0 and then let the agreement roll out. So that was, and certainly for us, that was a huge seller, because if we're up against something like Salesforce, where 2, 3, 4 year contracts are not unusual, then the customer said, well, what's your lock-in? 30 days. Well, okay, so that's a whole discussion taken out of the pre-sale debate. But now that 12-month stands. So in that 12-month period, you can up your licensing, but you can't down your licensing unless you're prepared to pay a premium for that flexibility. So now I think perhaps the way I would market that is saying, this is the price for this product. If you are prepared to pay for 12 months, then you get a discount.
Yes.
The way it's been marketing is, if you want flexibility, there's the penalty to pay. Different ways of doing that. I think for me, the biggest concern is the fact that the liability for that 12 months has been passed firmly and squarely onto our shoulders. So if a customer, for example, suddenly folds, we are liable for the rest of that 12 months. And I think that is an issue that partners really need to get their head around. So in our situation, we will stick with the 30-day. We'll stick with the flexible option, because that reduces our liability. But it's a big issue.
I imagine for our colleagues over in the modern workplace arena, this is quite a big deal. I mean, I don't think there have been huge price increases for quite a while, and this isn't huge, but it's that changing of the nature of the understanding, because in the past when we've spoken to people, actually the fact that you could go up and down, particularly if you had a seasonal business and you needed to bring on people during certain parts of the year, it was a very important part of that messaging. It's great to know that's still there. It's great to know that you get a discount if you're prepared to commit. And I think that's probably the way round I'd rather see it being promoted.
I think the point you're making is very strong. I think that when I've spoken to our colleagues who do more of the M365 than we do, that is their issue. Is the that some of them are looking at perhaps offering a mixed model, saying to people, look, we've done an assessment of your usage. We think that if you went for perhaps 80% at the discounted rate for 12 months, and then give yourself some flexibility, then that works quite well, you know. But almost all of them I spoke to said, do you know what, the price rise, we haven't had one for 3 or 4 years. It's fine, we get that. It's not product problem. And what you get for your money is still great value.
Absolutely.
The thing we get with the equivalent of a in the old days Office license, now an M365 license, you know, Teams and Exchange and all that kind of good stuff. It's great value. So that's what, they were not concerned about that. Their concern was how you manage that liability around that being responsible for what your customer may or may not do. And I'm still not got clear in my head what happens if a customer moves to another partner for some reason. Perhaps they get a better offer.
Yeah.
Does that mean Microsoft get paid twice? Because you can't assign the licensing and you can't remove that liability. Interesting question, and we've posed it to Microsoft, not had an answer back yet. So watch this space.
It's another one of our videos where we're saying watch this space, because we'll see how that pans out. I think if we can't find any relevant information, links to documents and things to put at the end of this, we'll put it there. But in the meantime, thanks for joining us today, whatever time of day it is or wherever you are. Great to have you here. Please do engage. We'd love to hear your comments, and if you have some suggestions for further discussions around topics that would be interesting to you, please do let us know. But thank you for joining us.